They're holding your money hostage. No hiding, no apologies. Every bill, every committee meeting is a weapon pointed at your business and your paycheck. How far does this legalized extortion run? And can you survive the next squeeze? In Extortion, How Politicians Extract Your Money, Buy Votes, and Line Their Own Pockets, Peter Schweizer pulls back the curtain on a Washington, D.C. you might suspect exists, but whose mechanics are far more ingrained and, in his view, corrupt than commonly understood. Do you ever feel that despite your best efforts to be an informed citizen, the political system seems rigged, unresponsive, or perpetually gridlocked? This book argues that what we often decry as special interests buying influence through bribery is, more accurately and insidiously, a system of legalized extortion, where politicians actively use their power to extract wealth and favors. Ignoring this dynamic means misunderstanding the true forces shaping policy and perpetuating a system that benefits the permanent political class at your expense. Schweizer's investigation aims to show you how this system operates, promising not easy solutions, but a clear-eyed understanding that can empower you to demand real change. The first step to understanding this system is recognizing that the problem in Washington is often not bribery, where outside interests corrupt officials, but extortion, where officials themselves leverage their positions to demand money and favors. Schweizer argues that the permanent political class, comprising individuals from both parties, has perfected methods to shake down contributors. Far from being passive recipients, politicians actively create situations where paying up feels like the only option for businesses and individuals. This isn't about ideology, it's about profit. They introduce or threaten legislation, not always to create good policy, but to create an opportunity to solicit donations from those who would be affected, effectively making politics a lucrative industry for those in power. Next, consider the Tollbooth tactic. Imagine a critical bill that your business or industry desperately needs to pass or to stop. Politicians in key positions, like the Speaker of the House or committee chairs, can control whether that bill even gets a vote. As Schweizer details, figures like former Speaker John Boehner have been shown to schedule votes on important legislation, such as the Wireless Tax Fairness Act, only after significant campaign contributions flowed in from affected industries like AT&T. Similarly, tax extenders, which are temporary tax breaks that need frequent renewal, create a recurring opportunity for politicians to collect tolls from industries eager to see those breaks continued. This constant uncertainty is a feature, not a bug, for those collecting the payments. Another crucial aspect is how the political class offers protection for a price. If your company faces potential legal action, regulatory scrutiny, or even the threat of new damaging laws, politicians can subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, offer a way out. For a donation, or by hiring well-connected lobbyists, often their former staffers or family members. The book points to the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission, suggesting that campaign contributions can influence who gets investigated or the severity of penalties. The Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA for instance, is presented as a vaguely written law that has been aggressively and selectively enforced, creating fear and a lucrative market for legal experts, including former Justice Department officials who once prosecuted such cases, to help companies navigate the very rules they helped create or enforce. Building on this, politicians often employ the double milker strategy. This involves crafting legislation that pits two powerful, wealthy industries against each other. As they publicly debate the merits of the bill, politicians and their fundraisers can solicit contributions from both sides, each hoping to sway the outcome or at least mitigate the damage. The fight over the Stop Online Piracy Act, SOPA, and the Protect IP Act, PIPA, serves as a prime example, where Hollywood, seeking to curb online piracy, and Silicon Valley, fearing a blow to internet freedom, both poured millions into lobbying and campaign donations. Regardless of the bill's ultimate fate, the political class cashed in. The money extracted then flows into what Schweizer calls the underground Washington economy. Campaign contributions are just the beginning. Politicians must often pay party dues to secure desirable committee assignments, incentivizing them to solicit heavily from the industries their committees oversee. Furthermore, leadership PACs, ostensibly for helping colleagues get elected, often become slush funds. Federal Election Commission rules on these PACs are lax, allowing funds to be spent on lavish retreats, golf outings, five-star hotels, and fine dining, with little accountability. Politicians can also make high-interest loans to their own campaigns, effectively paying themselves back with donor money, or place family members on the campaign payroll for vaguely defined services, transforming political donations into personal or family income. Then there's the deliberate cultivation of complexity in laws and regulations. Schweizer argues that massive bills like the Dodd-Frank Financial Reform Act are often intentionally written to be nearly incomprehensible. This complexity creates a dependency on those who drafted the legislation. After leaving public service, these former officials and staffers cash in by becoming highly paid consultants and lobbyists, charging steep fees to decipher the very rules they helped create. This creates a revolving door where insiders profit from the opacity they engineered, a subtle but effective form of extortion. Finally, it's often a family affair. The book highlights how powerful political families, like the Reeds of Nevada or the Blunts of Missouri, establish extensive networks. Spouses, children, and other relatives become lobbyists, consultants, or secure influential positions, all leveraging the politician's power. This creates a multi-layered system where favors and funds flow to various family members, solidifying the family's influence and wealth through the access and power of the central political figure. The main takeaway of this book is that the American political system is plagued by widespread legalized extortion, where the permanent political class skillfully uses its official powers not just for governance, but as a means of personal and familial enrichment and to perpetuate its own power. By understanding the various mechanisms, from toll booths and protection rackets to the exploitation of complex laws and family connections, you can gain a more critical insight into why Washington often seems to serve itself rather than the public. This understanding, Schweizer suggests, is the essential first step toward demanding accountability and pushing for reforms that genuinely address the root of this systemic corruption.